Hi there, I'm Nicole Lee, Health, Beauty, and More, and I would like to talk a little bit about THC. Um, when I went in to see a doctor about my shoulder, my right shoulder, which has a torn tendon, rotator cuff tendon, has a lot of bursitis, it has a lot of other issues like spurs and impingement that goes all the way down to the hand. It hurts to use it. Well, I didn't want epidurals. And that's what the chosen plan is for pain management. And so I thought, natural? I've tried everything over the counter, but I decided to give it a try to go with THC. I had tried CBD alone, like this intensive cream that you can get even on eBay, CBD Daily. And it's pretty good size, 1.7 ounces of cream with essential oils. But it really doesn't do a whole lot to me when I try it on. I mean, it's moisturizing, but that's about all. So I went to a doctor and saw him about the card, and he lectured me and gave me all the information I need to go on, asked me questions, and basically interviewed me. And I got my money's worth as far as answering questions, talking to this doctor I see he did have a medical certificate and number, so I felt more comfortable with that than somebody off the street because you don't know who you're dealing with. Anyway, he gave me suggestions and paperwork on who to go to for dispensaries. And since I'm sensitive and I've had a few close calls with THC, I wanted to make sure it was going to work for me. And he suggested starting with about 5 milligrams in the edibles and limiting that until I get used to it, because it does take a while for some people to get used to THC in their body. And I'm a newbie, but I didn't want to go the pain management way with the injections or opiates, because opiates are addictive and cortisone is not safe. Those injections they give you, I don't feel all that comfortable getting injections in my neck. I don't mind getting one in my shoulder once in a while, but I've had my share of cortisone in my life, so it's probably why I sometimes have skipped heartbeats and stuff. Let me show you some of the stuff that I have tried. Here I have Humboldt Apothecary Relax CBD. This is really good stuff as far as taking away some of the pain, and you have to shake it, put it under your tongue. It's pretty strong. It's infused with THC in there. It says 6.3 milligrams of CBD to 2.1 milligrams of THC per serving. So, and the whole bottle has 62 milligrams of THC in it. So you can go with that. That's one idea. And a lot of edibles. Now these are indica chews. They're called Veda chews. There's 10 milligrams of THC and 1 milligram of CBD. So it's high THC. So I usually don't take a whole one if I'm going for it, and it definitely has some potency too, but not as much as another one here. There's a couple others here that are really seem strong to me. One that's pretty strong is called cannabis-infused berry glazed gum. They're not bears, but gummies. And it seems to have quite a punch to it. So I would take a gummy out, like this blue one, and just bite around it. See, that's just part of one. I've bitten around, and they're circular. But you only get like 10, I think, total in these containers. So it's kind of deceptive a little. When you see the size of the container, you think, oh, it's got to have a lot. It's not that many. Another one that's pretty strong is Eden's Cure is the name of these. And these candies, they pack quite a punch as well. They do have sugar in it, so if you're diabetic, you have to look at that. And they're little discs, and they're pretty big actually, not so little. So if you smash them like with a hammer, and you get little pieces like that. They come in a lot of flavors: cinnamon, pineapple, or pina colada, and let's see what else. I ordered some mints, and I couldn't read how many were in the container, but I thought for sure there has to be at least 10. Wrong. 5. Breeze. It's called Breeze. And if you get them, get the Royal Mint, because they seem to do the most. That's what the people in the feedback talked about. And if you can get them open, then good luck, because it's a little difficult. But they're just basically this size, mint. They're very strong though, and they're scored. Well, it's not hard to break up in half. As far as strength, yeah, 20 milligrams per tablet. So that's a lot of milligrams for one tablet. It's pretty strong, so you have to go slow, because any edibles takes a long time to get to full potency. And a novice would take maybe half, 0.5. But as you get average and heavy, you can consume more. Of course, they're not cheap. And of course, the good old vape pens here, these are for quick relief, and they're not so easy to use necessarily, but what I've learned a trick is when pushing on the button to listen for the sound. Crackling? I don't know if you can hear anything, but probably not. But anyway, when you hear that crackling, then it's time to draw on it. And it does work pretty quickly. You'll feel it, especially where I got this one, because I think it had like a 1-to-1 ratio of CBD to THC. It was a pretty strong one if that's the case. Anyway, they vary in price. I mean, they can be very expensive, the cartridges of the batteries, because they seem to sell all these things separately, and you have to have a charger, of course, too. Plug it into a PC or something, so that you have it ready to go when it's time to power up. Okay, another thing I haven't talked about is I got the topical pain relief here called Liquid Flower. Let me open it and show you what it looks like inside. See, it doesn't come out. It's pretty solid. It's like a wax almost. It has a really nice smell to it, so you might like that about it too, because the scent is not bad. And see if it tells you anything about power. I know this is not the most powerful one, because this was a $50 item. The other one was $100. That was very powerful, but I didn't want to go there, so I started with this. It's actually a body butter, organic whole plant body butter, and I don't have the exact amount of THC per CBD in this one, but I'm sure you could look it up. It's pretty good, as far as getting the job done. You can tell that it helps, but I feel the I don't know if you call it a benefit or not, psychoactive effects of that, which I was really surprised to feel that. And when I first started on these, I swear, it seemed like I was doing pretty good with just like starting with a vape and the apothecary drops. These are very good for relaxing. I thought those were working pretty good, but I had 2 actually good nights of sleep once it kicked in and it was at the right dosage. And 2 in a row, and I actually saw a doctor, and he thought, well, then you can maybe stop taking clonazepam or cut it in half and see what happens. Well, as soon as I did that, I didn't sleep. I started getting shakes. I started with side effects. I must be one of those few people that's really sensitive to some medications. Okay, the dry eye I already have, but it just made it worse. So I am not going to wear contact lenses anymore. The dry eyes really got dry. They do if I take any of these things. The twitching of my body, which gets worse if I don't stop and drink more water in the middle of the night. And the thirst, and the other one, which is irregular or skipped heartbeats, those are side effects that can keep you up at night. But when my arm jerked this morning, I was in bed. It's already so messed up anyway from a lifting accident. But when that happened, it hurt like a son of a gun, so I just decided that's the final straw. I've tried this, given it a long haul, tried all kinds of them over time. I'm just one of those lucky people, I guess, that has to deal with this expense and the side effects. And not so bad, the expense, because there's ways to recoup some of it. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a brief overview on my experience here with THC. And I hope that this helps you. And if you have any questions or similar replies, I'd love to hear it. You can feel free to send me messages in the reply section and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.